26, 1944. High above the dark skies of France, a 21-year-old flight officer, Fred Mifflin, grips the controls of his Lancaster bomber. Tonight, he's one of more than 200 bombers heading out to strike critical German targets, and German radar already knows they're coming. Below them, a specially modified Bf-110 with upward-firing guns slides silently underneath an unsuspecting Lancaster and fires. Inside Mifflin's cockpit, the crew sees a sudden flash to the left. A burning Lancaster lights up the night sky, an unmistakable silhouette falling to its death. 7 men gone in seconds, and they're not the last. Many Lancasters will be taken down the same way tonight. As the formation pushes toward the target, Miff grabs the intercom. "Get ready, men coming close." Behind him sits flight engineer Norman Jackson. Jackson jumps up, folds the seat, and the bomb aimer scrambles forward into position. The aircraft suddenly rocks. The night explodes with flak. They're getting closer to the German factories. A violent lurch, a shout over the intercom, "We're hit!" Flak bursts have torn into the wing, but Miff's voice stays calm. "Don't worry, boys. I've still got her under control." 60 seconds. On the ground, bright Pathfinder flares mark the target. There's the spot. Bomb aimer. The plane is yours. The bomb aimer peers through his sight. The target drifts slowly across the crosshairs. He presses the release. Bombs away. Explosions bloom across the factory below. Fire plumes rise as the Lancaster empties its payload. Miff takes control again and turns for home. Every man on board prays for one thing: to be alone in the darkness. But up at higher altitude, the German radars reacquire the British bombers easily. Tonight, they vector in a squadron of night hunters, the infamous butcher birds. These ones are specially outfitted for night killing. A German pilot receives instructions from the ground. Moments later, he spots a lone British bomber drifting across the moonlit sky, a perfect target. The Lancaster has radar, but it's slung underneath the plane. From above, the FW-190 is almost invisible. The German pilot gently dips his nose. In the silver moonlight, the Lancaster slides cleanly into his sights. "I have you now." He closes to 50 meters and fires. Cannons and machine guns rip the night apart. A storm of tracers snakes toward the tail. "I'm hit." 20mm shells smash through the rear turret. Tail gunner Norman Johnson is badly wounded. Another one coming. The Lancaster's turrets spit back, but the German fighter breaks away into the darkness. "Keep them peeled, boys. He's out there somewhere." Moments later, the FW-190 returns, this time from 5 o'clock low. He unleashes another devastating burst along the full length of the bomber. Shells punch through the fuselage, tearing into the right wing. With the tail gunner out, Mifflin knows they're in serious trouble. "Hold on, men." He throws the massive bomber into a wild dive and turns a desperate corkscrew maneuver to shake the attacker. Mifflin is a superb pilot, but the FW-190 is faster, lighter, and deadly agile. It keeps up with ease. More cannon fire rakes the aircraft. A shell explodes near the cockpit, spraying shrapnel into Norman Jackson's legs. He cries out in pain, and then sees it. The cockpit fills with orange light. The right wing is burning. "We're on fire." The remaining turret blasts every round it has toward the enemy fighter, but again the German peels off into the black. Bandits gone. Not for long. Jackson watches helplessly as the fire spreads across the wing, fueled by fresh cannon holes. If the fire grows, the wing could shear off, or the fuel tank could detonate. Despite his wounds, Jackson gets an insane idea. "Toft, Higgins, come here." He tells them his plan. "I can go out there." "Where?" they ask. "On the wing." They stare at him. "That's suicide." Jackson stays calm. "I might be able to put the fire out. If I do, Ewan can pull me back in. If I don't and I get blown back, feed out the parachute line as best you can." "Mifflin?" someone asks. Mifflin is stunned, but Jackson is already grabbing his parachute, ignoring the pain in his legs. The bomb aimer and navigator grip the lines. Jackson steps toward the hatch. "Ready?" "Ready." They pull the hatch off, and a hurricane blasts through the bomber. They're doing 180 miles per hour at 18,000 feet. Jackson lowers himself into the freezing slipstream. "If I don't and I get blown back, feed out the parachute line as best you can." "Mifflin?" someone asks. Mifflin is stunned, But Jackson is already grabbing his parachute, ignoring the pain in his legs. The bomb aimer and navigator grip the lines. Jackson steps toward the hatch. Ready? Ready. They pull the hatch off, and a hurricane blasts through the bomber. They're doing 180 miles per hour at 18,000 feet. Jackson lowers himself into the freezing slipstream. He jams the nozzle into a cannon hole and sprays. Inside the wing, white powder fills the compartment. The flames sputter, shrink, and finally die. He's doing it. It's working. Against every law of survival, the fire goes out. Jackson can't believe it. He's going to live. He's going to meet the son who was born just hours before this mission. But someone else sees the flames vanish. The FW-190, it drops in again. Another burst screams through the night. Bullets rip into Jackson's leg and shoulder. Fuel leaks from the tank beneath him and ignites. A fireball engulfs him. Jackson is thrown from the wing. His body whips violently in the airstream. Inside, the crew feel the parachute lines snap tight. He's gone from the wing. We'll never get him back. We have to let him go. They release the line, and Jackson's parachute is instantly torn into flames by the fireball. The Lancaster groans. Altitude falls. Controls weaken. Miff fights to keep her level. He manages to get down to a safer height, dropping below 7,000 feet. Get out. The crew rush the escape hatch. Johnson won't survive the jump. Miff, I hear you, Smith. Bail out. Smith and the rest leap into the night sky. Shoots blossom behind them. Moments later, the burning Lancaster spirals out of control. Miff stays. He refuses to abandon his friend. Tail gunner Norman Johnson is too injured to jump. Norman, I'm landing the plane. You hear me? I hear you, Miff. I'm here. We're going to crash land. You hear me? Okay, okay. They never make it. The plane hits the ground. Both men perish. High above, a flaming parachute tumbles through the darkness. Jackson still attached. Somehow, unbelievably, he survives the fall. He crashes into bushes, breaking both ankles. His flight suit still smokes. His hands are burned, his legs shredded, and a bullet sits lodged in his shoulder. Help! He drags himself toward a farmhouse, crawling on elbows and knees. He's captured shortly after, but taken to a POW camp with an Allied-run hospital. He makes a full recovery. 5 crew members survive the mission and remain in captivity until liberation in 1945. Jackson finally returns home and meets the son born the night he nearly died. For his actions, he's awarded the Victoria Cross. What the hell for? Norman Cyril Jackson passed away peacefully on March 26, 1994. It's hard enough doing these missions at night, but the Americans do them in the day. I know. Did you hear the story where only one B-17 came home? Yes, you can watch that story here. If stories like this hit you the way they hit me, then do me a favor and give this video a like. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I share real war stories, real courage, and the kind of moments that remind us what humans are capable of. Your one subscribe helps keep these stories alive, and honestly, it means more than you know.